Welcome, history seekers. Today we decode a thrilling secret from 1948. May 14th. A crackling radio declares the explosive birth of a new state in the Middle East. While neighboring Arab armies braced for war, one Persian king sat in his palace, watching the chaos. The Shah faced a brutal choice. Should he join the fierce opposition, or embrace a radical new shift? He chose the unthinkable path. Let us rewind the clock and uncover his dark, secret motives. Back in late 1947, the air inside Lake Success was thick with anxiety and smoke. Global leaders gathered around a massive wooden table to carve up the map of the Middle East. The United Nations debated the partition plan, sparking fierce outrage across the Arab world. Amidst the screaming delegates, the Persian diplomats sat in silence, sweating under the pressure. Iran shared deep cultural ties with its neighbors, making any wrong move a potential disaster. Supporting a Jewish state meant risking full-blown war and losing every regional ally. But opposing it completely meant defying Western powers, who held the keys to global commerce. Then, David Ben-Gurion took the podium, his white hair standing out under the harsh assembly lights. His voice echoed through the hall, declaring the historic right of the Jewish people to their homeland. The room erupted into absolute chaos, as gavels banged loudly against the polished oak desks. Records show the Persian delegation initially hesitated to take a decisive stand. They tried to propose alternative federal solutions to prevent regional devastation. However, the tides of history were moving too fast, completely ignoring their cautious middle ground. The partition vote passed, sparking immediate and violent backlash from surrounding nations. As the UN Assembly quickly adjourned, the shadow of a brutal conflict loomed over the desert. The diplomats packed their briefcases, knowing these written words would quickly turn to devastating war. Back in Tehran, the young Shah monitored the escalating crisis with cold and calculating eyes. He knew raw emotion could not dictate foreign policy when his own throne was highly vulnerable. The Persian Empire needed absolute stability, not a religious crusade against new neighbors. He ordered his intelligence officers to gather all factual data from the front lines. Top-secret red folders began to pile up on his massive desk, detailing the furious battles. The Arab armies launched a coordinated assault, expecting to crush the newly formed Jewish state. But the reports reaching the palace painted a surprisingly different and shocking reality. Israel was not collapsing. They were holding their ground with astonishing military precision. By 1949, the smoke cleared, revealing a bruised but fiercely independent new nation. The Shah lit a cigar, staring deeply into the flickering flames of the grand fireplace in his study. He recognized a harsh truth that his furious neighbors stubbornly refused to accept or acknowledge. The Jewish state was an undeniable fact on the ground, a power that could never be erased. According to royal archives, the Shah believed that pragmatism must overrule blind regional anger. He saw Israel as a strong counterweight to the rapid growth of massive Arab nationalism. A strong presence in the region could actually protect Iranian strategic interests. Making this public could ignite a massive revolt among his own deeply religious population. He had to navigate this massive geopolitical minefield with caution and total secrecy. The monarch summoned his most trusted advisors to the dimly lit chambers of the royal palace. They whispered over ancient maps, drawing invisible lines of alliances across the shifting sands. Israeli intelligence and farming technology offered an incredibly tempting advantage. Iran desperately needed modern advancements to build its economy and secure the borders. The streets of Tehran echoed with loud protests, demanding total solidarity with Palestine. The pressure was suffocating, threatening to crack the very foundation of the Persian monarchy. Every day the Shah balanced the heavy crown on his head against the survival of his empire. He observed the Soviet threat looming in the north, making an alliance with the West essential. Recognizing Israel would win him immense favor in Washington and strengthen his military. It was a gamble, trading popularity for absolute global geopolitical power. If you were in his shoes, surrounded by fierce enemies, would you risk your throne for a strategic ally? He finally made his decision, choosing cold logic of statecraft over the heat of public passion. March 1950 marked the ultimate turning point in this invisible diplomatic warfare. The government quietly issued a formal declaration, shocking the entire Islamic world. They granted de facto recognition to the State of Israel, a move of stunning boldness. The diplomatic cables flew across the globe, sparking outrage in Cairo, Damascus, and Baghdad. Arab leaders slammed their fists on podiums, calling the Persian monarch a traitor to their shared cause. But the Shah remained stoic, sitting calmly on his throne, while the political storm raged around him. To understand this move, we must picture a man walking a frayed tightrope over a blazing inferno. In his left hand, he held the crucial need for regional trade and traditional Islamic harmony. In his right hand, he grasped the absolute necessity for Western technology and security. One wrong step, one sudden gust of political wind, and the entire Persian Empire could burn to ash. The tightrope swayed dangerously, but his polished leather shoes never slipped from the rough hemp fibers. He maintained a small diplomatic presence in Jerusalem, just enough to show cooperation. Yet he publicly criticized Israeli expansion to quickly pacify his angry neighbors. This masterclass in doublethink allowed Iran to reap the immense benefits of both warring sides. Secret cargo planes began flying between Tehran and Tel Aviv under the cover of darkness. They carried vital farming equipment, medical supplies, and highly classified intelligence. In return, the Shah provided the Jewish state with a steady, critical flow of much-needed crude oil. This invisible pipeline became the absolute lifeblood of Israel in its vulnerable years. The Mossad and the Savak forged a shadowy alliance, sharing secrets to defeat radical movements. They tracked down Soviet spies and mutual enemies, operating outside the public eye. The royal palace transformed into a nexus of operations, hidden behind dark velvet curtains. Israeli engineers walked the streets of Tehran with forged passports, building dams and modern power grids. The Persian military grew stronger, using advanced tactics learned directly from powerful allies. But this golden age of secret cooperation carried a massive, ticking time bomb within its core. The more the Shah aligned with Western interests, the more he alienated his own people. Religious clerics preached fiery sermons in the mosques, condemning the royal pact with Zionists. The tightrope was fraying under the immense weight of growing domestic anger and hidden corruption. Every secret handshake slowly eroded the fundamental legitimacy of the peacock throne. The Shah believed he was a grand master playing three-dimensional chess on the global chessboard. He failed to realize that the board itself was slowly catching fire from the very bottom up. For nearly 3 decades, this fragile relationship remained one of the best-kept global secrets. It shaped the entire balance of power, preventing Arab nations from dominating the region. But history reminds us that all shadows eventually vanish when the blinding sun rises. The massive tightrope snapped in 1979, plunging the monarchy into the abyss. Was this secret alliance the ultimate cause of his downfall, or a brilliant, clever delay? The Islamic Revolution swept Iran, slamming the door on all Israeli cooperation. The former friends became the most bitter enemies, forever altering the vast Middle East. Yet the legacy of that 1950 decision still haunts the corridors of power today. It proves that in the ruthless world of geopolitics, survival dictates the strangest bedfellows. The young monarch's bold gamble remains a profound study in pragmatism over ideology. As we look back, we see the heavy wooden door of history slightly ajar, revealing hidden truths. A single ray of light pierces the darkness, illuminating the ink on that historic document. The ghost of the Shah still wanders those ancient halls, whispering secrets of power to the cold stone walls. He knew that true power is never wielded in the blinding spotlight, but always forged in the deep shadows. The Middle East we know today was carved not just by brutal wars, but by these silent, unseen handshakes. Let this story be a profound reminder that history is rarely as simple as black and white. It is a complex tapestry, woven with invisible threads of treason and quiet survival. The recognition stands as a monument to the dangerous art of walking the razor-wire edge. The embers of that historic gamble continue to burn beneath the sands of the modern Middle East. The Game of Thrones never truly ends. It merely changes players and shifts the shadows to a new place. The world today still feels the tremors of that secret agreement forged in the royal palace. Behind firmly closed doors, his intelligence officers mapped out all the hidden vulnerabilities. The Persian monarch firmly believed he could outsmart the rising tide of religious extremism. But history proves that walking the diplomatic tightrope is a game of ultimate risk. A single miscalculation could send an entire empire crashing into absolute ruin. The oil continued to flow silently, fueling the rapid expansion of the new Jewish state. In equal exchange, advanced agricultural techniques transformed the barren Persian landscapes. This invisible alliance delayed a massive regional conflict for nearly 30 years. Yet every covert meeting deepened the terrible mistrust among the common citizens. The heavy wooden doors of the royal palace could no longer hide the growing resentment. Shadows of a revolution began to gather in the crowded streets of the capital city. The delicate balance of power finally shattered under the weight of an angry nation. Reflecting on this incredible geopolitical thriller, a vital lesson emerges. Sometimes, the most decisive victories are won in absolute silence, far from the battlefield. The Ghost of 1950 teaches us that survival requires navigating total darkness. History will always remember the king who dared to walk the burning tightrope of diplomacy. The echoes of his controversial handshake will forever resonate through the desert sands. The Shah walked a dangerous tightrope. Was his secret pact a stroke of pure genius or a betrayal? How did this hidden handshake reshape the modern Middle East? Share your thoughts in the comments right now. If you loved this epic deep dive into history, please like this video, share it, and subscribe.